Every day, the fires burn. The western edge of the Mirador Basin in Petén, northern Guatemala, is literally going up in smoke. An unspoiled tropical landscape, it is the last and biggest rainforest in Central America, 600,000 acres of lush wilderness. It is being threatened by slash-and-burn agriculture and logging. Also threatened in this biosphere is another treasure, the cradle of Maya civilization. Buried under this dense canopy of jungle lies the remains of the largest ancient Maya civilization ever known. You are looking at the camouflaged site of a huge pyramid, 230 feet high. It is the last vestige of a culture that began about 1,000 years before Christ, and then, 150 years after his death, the people vanished from the face of the earth.
We call it the cradle of civilization because it's where it looks like everything began in a rather spectacular and a very formidable way.
Rivaling the Roman Empire, and with pyramids bigger than the ones in Egypt, this Maya civilization existed before Columbus discovered the Americas. The city had a civic center larger than downtown Los Angeles.
Why this is important to humanity is because it has the saga of humanity contained within the story. We have its origins of complexity. We have the developmental process, the dynamics, the economic and political and social dynamics that made that work. And then, interestingly enough, we have the demise, the total and complete collapse of a complex society. And it's all contained in a very early period of time.
Dr. Richard Hansen, an archaeologist from the University of California at Los Angeles, has been spearheading efforts to uncover and preserve the treasures of the Mirador Basin for 24 years. He has been locating sites using satellite technology and the global positioning system and old-fashioned surface exploration. Hansen knows of 6 major cities, 26 other important site locations, and perhaps 40 more. One of the sites he's been working on is Nak Bay, which may be the home of an ancient Maya king.
There's thousands of years of time right there.
His work has attracted major media attention. ABC's 2020 host Hugh Downs took a tour of the tunnels deep inside the pyramid.
And there's the skull. There's the skull.
Hansen is now in a race against time to save these priceless treasures. There is support from the Guatemalan government, which has declared the Mirador Basin as a special protected area. His Foundation for Anthropological Research and Environmental Studies is carefully excavating the sites within the Mirador Basin. Now he is getting help from the Global Heritage Fund from Palo Alto, California, developing a plan to prevent the current encroaching civilization from destroying the ecological and cultural treasures there.
The Global Heritage Fund sees Mirador Basin at a critical crossroads where 24 years of research in environment and archaeology has now culminated in special protected area status for establishing a national monument there.
A trip to the Mirador Basin reveals just how quickly the window of opportunity is closing. It can take 2 or 3 days to get to Nak Bay by mule. By helicopter, the trip takes only 45 minutes. On the way, you can see the scourge of clear-cutting, which has destroyed vast areas of forest. Logging is uncontrolled, and burning of large areas to clear for crops, along with new roads, is also ravaging the land.
We have an area of pristine tropical forest left. And this has become increasingly a concern because as roads are punched into these remote areas, then we have uncontrolled cutting, slash and burn agriculture, pastures are being developed, and as a result the forest is being cut and decimated.
A decimated and destroyed rainforest is a threat not only to the archaeological treasures of the Mirador Basin, but to its wildlife as well. 200 species live here. Tropical primates like the howler monkey, jaguar, ocelots, and other forest creatures and birds could disappear along with their habitat. After landing near the Nakbe Pyramid, Hansen walks to the summit,
Totalmente.
and then to an ancient Maya quarry where the stone blocks were cut. It becomes quickly clear why the ruins are subject to another danger: looters. They can take as much as $10 million a month of Maya pottery, jade sculpture, and other artifacts from the ancient city burial sites.
The walls, rip out the buildings, rip out the floors, and find the burials that are underneath the floors. And they bring this material out and they just throw out the material they find of no longer of any value. They throw out the pieces of polychrome plates, for example. They throw out pieces of, or beautiful little bowls, fragments that are incomplete. Tremendous loss of science here because we no longer know the context of what else was found in this burial. The tremendous devastation has taken place.
Because of the looting, Hansen has hired armed guards and reburies excavated ruins to hide and protect them. In the face of encroaching logging interests and the invasion of looters, the Global Heritage Fund sees a chance to solve the problem and to save the basin.
We have as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, like Yellowstone National Park, to establish a 600,000-acre roadless wilderness and archaeological preserve that will rival any park in the world.
The best model that we have for rainforest preservation are archaeological parks. And it works. There's an economic justification to do it, and it works.
The model for Mirador is Tikal National Park, only 70 miles away. The math is compelling. Tikal attracted 200 million tourist dollars last year, making it one of the largest industries in Guatemala. The Global Heritage Fund estimates that $350 million could be spent in a Mirador Basin park by 2010, money that would be pumped into the local and national economies.
Because there'll be so many people coming in to see this that they will actually generate jobs, generate the livelihood for people in terms of the cultural tourism, so they don't need to loot, they don't need to poach, they don't need to destroy the site and log the forest and burn it down to create a few acres of corn or milpa.
One of the litmus tests for success is what the people of the Mirador Basin think. The prospect of tourism, jobs, and a stable economy that would be the result of a master conservation plan give them hope for the future.
Andar deforestando. For
us, it is a benefit because we are attracting economic support and better jobs without destroying our surroundings. Because for us, conservation is very important. We live in and care for the forest. Tourism is the best job because we're working to promote our park.
And we see this as a unique opportunity that will not be here 5 years from now, will not be here 2 years from now.
The preservation is sustainable. It can last several lifetimes. To make this plan a reality, we need your financial support to help make possible a national park, archaeological and nature conservation, and protection of wildlife in the Mirador Basin. For further information, contact the Global Heritage Fund in Palo Alto or the Foundation for Anthropological Research and Environmental Studies.
So we have the opportunity, a window of to look at humanity in its entire spectrum, from beginning to end. And I think that has important implications for society today. I think it has a marvelous opportunity to teach us about ourselves, who we are, how we got here, and what can happen to us if we don't take necessary precautions.